Hi, grade ones. Today we're going to talk about another math strategy, one that we kind of learned last week, which was making 10 to add. And remember, we used our 10 frames and we filled in all the numbers and tried to make one whole 10 frame. And then we added the leftovers because adding numbers to 10 is pretty easy. We're going to look at that strategy again today, but we're going to use it instead of using 10 frames. We're going to see if we can just split the numbers up into addition sentences that we already know. Now, you may really like this strategy because maybe you don't like to draw pictures and use 10 frames to help you, or you may not like this strategy because you really do like to use 10 frames and other pictures to help you. That's okay. We're just going to practice with it, and then you can kind of decide which strategies work for you. So this strategy we're calling break into 10, okay? So let's review how we did it last week with the 10 frames. So if we had a question like 7 plus 4, we're going to take our 7 and start filling in our 10 frame because we're trying to make 10. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 for my blue 7. And then we got 4. Let's continue filling in our 10 frame. 1, 2, 3. There's one 10 frame. And 4. So then if I write my equation in a different way, I've got one whole 10 frame plus one leftover. And I know when I'm adding numbers to 10, all I got to do is keep that number and put a 1 in front of it. So I keep the 1 and put a 1 in front of it. So 10 plus 1 is 11. Since I used 7 and 4 in my 10 frames, 7 plus 4 is also 11. So that's one way of doing it with the 10 frames. Today we're going to talk about breaking the numbers up into 10. So let me draw a little squiggle line. And let's take a look at our question over here. Same question, 7 plus 4. Now, I'm going to look at my bigger number. So we're going to decide which number is our bigger number. And our bigger number today is the 7. Now, what do I add to 7 to get 10? If I don't remember, I can use my fingers. Remember, I have 10 fingers, so that's kind of helpful. If I put up 7, how many fingers are down? There's 3. So to make 10, I need to do 7 plus 3 more. So is there a way that I can split 4 into 3 plus something? Because I know I need the 7 and the 3 together to make 10, and then I'll use my leftovers. So let's look. 4, 3 plus what? Think of fact families, or think of part, whole. What's the other part to make this a whole or a fact family? And if you guessed it's 1, you're right. So we know that 3 plus 1 is going to give us 4. So I'm going to break up my 4 into 3 plus 1. Now I can go, aha, let's rearrange how I add these numbers together. I know that 7 and 3 is 10. And then I've got my 1 left over. Oh, 10 plus 1. I can add numbers to 10. I keep the 1 and put the 1 in front. So if 10 plus 1 is 11, 7 plus 4 is also 11. See how it's the same thing? We ended up with the same number sentence or the same equation. We just did it in 2 different ways. This way uses a picture to help you, and this way just uses numbers instead of a picture. Let's try another one with just numbers to see if we're figuring this strategy out. Again, if you don't like this strategy, it's okay. Try it and then use whichever strategy works for you when you're doing your normal work. But it's good to learn new strategies because maybe you really will like this strategy. All right, let's do 3 plus 9. All right, when we're doing breaking into 10, we always want to start with the biggest number. So is my bigger number 3 or is it 9? It's 9. So we're starting with 9. Now I'm thinking in my head, 9 plus what makes 10? I want to make 10. Use your fingers if you need to. If I have 9, how many more do I need to make 10? I need 1 more. So I'm going to come over to the 3, and I'm going to make a fact family using that 1 more. Okay, I'm going to steal 1 from the 3. Now, I got to figure out what's the leftover number. Well, what's a fact family for 3 and 1? Part, whole. 1 plus what is going to give me 3? Again, you can use your fingers if you want to. I got 3, and I know there's 1 already. How many left do I have? I have 2. Okay, so look, here's how I made 10 with my 1 and my 9. Those together give me 10. And then I've got my leftover bits. Here's my leftovers. And that gives me, I have a 2 leftover. Remember, this is not the same thing as this anymore. Let's make this one go away, just so we don't get confused. This is a different one. Okay, so now I can add to 10 because I'm really good with adding to 10s. I keep my 2 and I put my 1 in front. So 10 plus 2 is 12, which means 3 plus 9 is also 12. I just rearranged the order of the numbers. Let's do one more and see if you got it. Okay, so let's do 8 plus 5. Now, first thing we want to do is look for the biggest number. Which number is bigger, 8 or 5? You're right, the 8 is bigger, so we're going to look at the 8. Now I'm thinking with my 8, how many more do I need to make 10? I want to make 10, so use your fingers. Here's 8. How many more do I need? I need 2 more. So I got to take the 2 out of our friend down here. Now, what fact family, if I'm thinking of fact families with 5 as my whole, 2 plus what is going to give me 5? Well, here's 2. How many more? We got 3. Okay, so really what I'm doing is 8 plus 2 plus 3, because I'm splitting this number into 2 smaller parts so that I can make 10. Well, if I'm doing 8 plus 2, I know that's the part that gives me 10, and then I've got my leftovers. Here's my leftovers. My leftovers are 3. And when I do that together, 10 plus 3, keep the 3, stick the 1 in front, it's 13. So 8 plus 5 is also 13.